Welcome to the channel. My name is Alex Funk, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how I went from a small town kid needing everyone's approval and feeling scared of and crippled by anything money related to transforming my life, taking control of my money, growing it, and really living out my dream life. So, welcome to the channel. Here we go. The reason that I'm doing this video is because I wish when I was, 18 to 22, anywhere in that range, I wish that I had seen something like this just to give me a example or give me proof or give me motivation or inspiration that it was possible to pursue my dreams and to do things like this. And so this video, if you are from a small town or if you feel like your dreams aren't even possible or out of reach or you feel stuck or, anything like that, or if you feel like you'll never figure out money or money is bad or money's evil or, you'll never learn how to play that game, then this video is for you. So the question I want to pose on you just to kick off the video is, have you ever wondered what it takes to break free from expectation around you, not worry about what people are saying about you, especially in your small town or your hometown, or your home circles, or your family circles, and just freely live out your dream life? Have you ever wondered how to do that, how to break through that, and how to make that happen? So for me, I grew up, again, small town, central Minnesota, where everyone knew everything about everyone. And I was always the kid who needed approval, needed to be liked. I was the chubby middle cousin, the chubby middle child. And even in my friend group, I wasn't the most athletic. I wasn't a starter on really any sports teams, even though I was good at baseball, actually, but I still, my own confidence, my own belief systems tricked myself into thinking I wasn't any good. And so I did not play as well as I could have or start as much as I probably could have if I just simply believed in myself more. But this need for approval drove me to be the homecoming king. I was involved with everything. I was in every sport. I was in a musical, only one, even though I wanted to do more, but I didn't because I was scared that I wouldn't get approval from people around me. I was in a lot of clubs and things like that. And life seemed pretty simple and straightforward for me. I'd go to college like a lot of other people from my hometown. I would get a degree in something, and then I'd probably come back home and take over my dad's electrical business or, do something blue collar, because that's what it seemed like everybody does or everyone did. And so that's, I just figured that's what my life would be like as well. There was always a part of me that wanted more. There's always a part of me that thought there could be more. And my whole life, my dream was to work for the Minnesota Vikings. I am a huge Vikings fan. I have a Vikings coffee mug usually with me at the office here. My desk mat for my mouse has a Minnesota Vikings logo on it. And I always thought that would be cool. But there's only one guy in my hometown, I'll never forget, Ben Maurer, I think is his name, that works in professional sports or works for the Vikings. And one of my older cousins, he actually tried to work in sports, and all I heard was how competitive it was. And it's true. It is a really hard thing to get into. And so pretty much counted myself out of that. I just said, all right, well, that's a pipe dream. That's not actually a real thing that somebody like me can do or can pursue. And so I kind of just decided that wasn't going to be my life and decided to go to a college that most people from my town actually went to. Because I didn't want to go off my own and, was nervous that, wouldn't work out or people would judge me or something like that. And then one of the first turning points in all of this was I was at the Minnesota State hockey tournament, and a friend of a friend or a cousin of a friend was talking about how he had given a TED talk. He worked for the Minnesota Vikings. He met the governor or something like that. And I was sitting there thinking, like, this can't even be real. Like, how could one person, all these things that don't even seem real? And I started talking to him, asking him a bunch of questions, and told him, like, oh, it's my dream to work for the Vikings. And fast forward 3 months, he actually reached out to me. So as I was going into my freshman year of college, he reached out and said, hey, the Vikings need one more person for this role. I put a good word in for you. I'll let you know how it goes. And long story short, I got that job. I drove to the Vikings facility. I was down where the media and NFL Network was, like getting, my credentials to get into the facility. I was in the same room as the general manager for my interview and all of this. And that was the first time for me where it actually felt like my dreams could be real. And I remember I have a Snapchat memory of me walking out with tears in my eyes. And it was because I couldn't believe that that was my life. Like I was in the Vikings headquarters. I had on-field passes. Like it didn't not none of it really seemed like it was real or like it was for me. And I almost had this imposter syndrome for sure of like, how could this actually be my life right now? But what happened was it started to open my eyes of thinking, wait, there could be more for me. Like there could be more opportunity and things like working for the Vikings. That's actually real. Like people actually do that. And now I'm doing that. That's me now. And so I started seeing myself more as that type of person. At that exact time, I started to get into forex trading, kind of like day trading at college. One of my college friends got me into it and basically lost all my money. The Vikings job was only on the weekends, and so by Christmas break time, I didn't have any money. And I remember I was like, "Well, I'm broke, but student loan money's fake anyway." It's not fake. Student loan money's fake anyway. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna be fine. Like it's all good. And the same friend referred me then to a job selling Cutco cutlery, which, as you can see in my background, or obviously my whole channel, all of my videos for the first couple of years of posting is all Cutco videos. And so I've been able to build a career with Cutco, sell a lot of it. People love it. Customers love it. I love selling it. And that is how I've kind of started my professional foundation. Well, selling Cutco, okay, from January of 2019 to COVID, so March of 2020, sold a lot of it and was preparing to run my own branch office, kind of like an entrepreneurial internship that summer. Well, COVID forced everybody home. And so when I went home from college, that's when my life really started to take off in a completely different direction. And it was because I no longer had these social expectations. I know I was never the guy in college who liked going out on the weekends. And most of my friends at college were going out on the weekdays. And that, I'm not judging them at all, but that wasn't really me. And so I was always the one trying to like leave the parties early and like go home. And I might sound pretty lame to some of you, but to some of you, like that might be you, right? And I always was just doing what I felt like was expected. And when COVID happened, there was no expectation. Nobody knew what anybody was supposed to be doing. And so while a lot of people watch like Tiger King or Netflix and things, I didn't. I literally just grinded with Cutco, and that's the first time I invested in a mentor. So this was March of 2020. I decided to pay $10,000 to a life coach mentor who, took me under his wing. That was $10,000 I didn't really have. Okay. This is when I still thought, student loan money was like fake money. So I invested that into that program. I dove fully into personal development. I dove fully into real estate podcasts. My Spotify Unwrapped, I listened to 30,000 minutes of Bigger Pockets podcast. It's a real estate investing podcast. And I listened to that all year. That fall, I dropped out of college and I started studying habits. So I read 5 or 6 books on habits, which I talked about on this channel. I have a video about that. And I dove in head first. I read a ton of books. I studied, and I was able to do all this because, in looking back in hindsight, like I did this because there was no social expectation. Because it was COVID, I was trapped inside like everybody else. And so I was doing what in my heart I wanted to do. And that was not go to college. That was not go out and party. That was literally just like I was studying habits. I was reading books. I was learning the real estate game. I was paying a mentor. I was getting healthy. And I was doing this all at the same time. And while running a Cutco business that I made $30,000 that summer. So I was 20 years old, made 30 grand that summer, which at the time was like otherworldly, right? And so that winter, I bought my first house hacking. I learned how to do it on Bigger Pockets podcast. And I moved in with 3 random roommates. So it was a 4-bedroom house. I found 3 random roommates on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. And they moved in, and I had random roommates for the first like 8 months that I lived there. And that was a pretty lonely time. I'm not going to lie, because it was, again, separation season. So a lot of people in the world were like going back to college now and partying again. And all my friends were kind of like, hey, where'd you go? Like, we're back in Mankato. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not coming back. And they'd be, like, what? What do you mean? What are you going to do? What are you doing? And I just said, like, I'm not really sure. Like, I bought this house in the cities. So then all of a sudden I'm in the cities. All my friends are either back up north in Pierce, Minnesota, or they were all down in Mankato, and I was alone in the cities. And that was when I started to kind of get the like cold shoulder, it felt like, from a lot of people in my life of, Alex is too good for us now, or he doesn't talk to us anymore, or he doesn't want to hang out, or Alex this, and it was like people talking behind my back that it would like get back to me and things like that. And at the time, it definitely hurt. And so, if that's you, if you have to go through that separation season to get to where you want to get, like, yeah, like people are going to say things. But at the end of the day, that's more of a reflection of where they're at and who they are. And you get one life. So I pursued my passions. I lived with strangers for a while. I grew a lot. Again, was doing really well with Cutco. We broke the all-time record. Our office that year broke the all-time record for sales in a year. Super exciting, awesome. Made great money from all of that, and was able to parlay that into buying a second property with my mom. So that was a project that we did together. And I now own that property fully, and I'm paying her back for what was her part of it, and kept working hard with Cutco. Opened my own district office in May of 2022. And that's, been going really well. And we've been breaking records with that. And I got to be on the, Change Your Life Selling Those podcast, where the host said one of the fastest rising stars in Cutco, which was really, humbling and really awesome to hear. But all of this to say, since 2020, some of the dreams. I ran a treadmill marathon. I competed in a bodybuilding competition. I trained to be an amateur boxer for a while. Those were some of the health dreams, right? I've traveled all over. I have a map right here at the office with, I think, like 50 pins in it. And I've taken 86 flights in the past 3 years. I have found my dream girl. I have an amazing relationship with her. I have amazing relationships all around me. And the life that I live today is way different than it even was in 2020. And it definitely was when I was graduating high school, and still felt shackled by the peer group around me in my hometown and all of that. And so now some of the things I'm able to look back and say are, number one, like, I battled and won the battle with my relationship with money. I've learned money myths. I've shattered them. I've rewired my own money blueprints. I've done a ton of therapy around that. And I've learned the money game, beginning levels of it, but I've been learning, and I've learned the game of money. At one point, I felt so guilty for my success that I was scared to go home. I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to, I think of like Thanksgiving, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, when everybody's back home. I felt so embarrassed to even show up at the bar that my dad was playing in the band at, because I felt embarrassed of striving for more. I felt like everyone was judging me for leaving everyone behind. And I created all these stories and narratives in my head, and I battled through that in the past couple of years. I, at this point, can say, this year I've donated over $2,000 to charities and to my church, and I feel great about that. Like, I am able to now use money as a tool. I'm able to use my successes to give, and to give time, and to be able to give resources and teaching and talents to people around me, and help them level up. So all of this to say, now I have 5 units of real estate, and I have videos on my channel about passive income and, what I'm building. I have all these goals I write down every day. I write down 30 goals every day in all categories. I have videos on this on my channel. I feel confident in saying, like, I'm going to get them all. Like, I'm going to cross them all off. And I can see that for myself now. And it's because I have so much evidence of, when I'm pursuing the things I want to pursue, I have evidence that I've been able to achieve them. And that is what I think most people are missing, is just that evidence and that proof that, like, hey, that could be me too. So this mindset shift, it was not overnight, right? This involved me stepping outside my comfort zone many times, being lonely, going through those separation seasons, changing my environment a couple times, investing heavily into my own personal development, coaching, mentorship, environment around me, going to retreats, going to mastermind opportunities. It's all about understanding that living your dream life is not about earning more money. The secret is mastering the fundamentals of finance. It's not about earning more. It's about keeping more. It's about making that money work for you. And it's about investing into yourself, not just investing money into yourself through education and things like that, but also investing time into yourself, time to sit down and read books, time to listen to podcasts, time to watch things that move you forward instead of keep you in one spot, like Netflix or Hulu, or, listening to, music or something like that, when there are audiobooks or podcasts that you could be listening to. So overall, what changed for me was I was willing to take control and just pursue what I wanted to pursue. And there were a lot of ups and downs in that, but I have videos on my channel about this as well. Life is ups and downs. That's duality. That is life. So are you willing to choose the hard so you can get the reward? Because if you choose a life of comfort, if you choose a life of reward, you will always, always leave on the table your true potential, your dreams, and really just getting out of life what is meant for you. And I truly believe that. So thank you for watching. That is my story. That's where I'm at today. I'm excited to, make updates of this video, but this is who I am. This is what I'm working towards. And if you go to my website, I have a free grab on there for you to get resources to start your dreams list, to start pursuing your dream life. And I would love to connect. Message me, find me on LinkedIn, find me on Facebook, Instagram, message me the word dream, and I would love to connect and help you get a little bit closer to your dream life as well. So this video was for a younger version of me, right? But it was also for, anyone who found it relevant to their situation. And if that's you, please subscribe, pass the video along, keep watching the channel, keep liking the videos, keep leaving me comments, because it drives me to keep living out loud and sharing these things with you guys as I go pursue my dream life. So Alex Funk YouTube, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.